What's going on, traders? Welcome back to the Build a Trader YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be doing a weekly outlook for this upcoming trading week. First things first, I'm going to start with the news, then go into the main pairs that I traded. And if you are new to the channel, I will be covering the Nasdaq 100, the USD Canadian dollar, the Australian dollar, Bitcoin, and this week I'm going to be looking at the US dollar against the yen as well, USDJPY. But before we dive into things, and take a sip of my smoothie. Cheers to good health, y'all. All right, so here on Monday we have German Flash Manufacturing PMI. What is that? Producer Manufacturing Index. It measures the level of diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers in the manufacturing industry. Yeah, it stands for Purchasing Managers Index. Okay. On Tuesday, we have Regional Bank of New Zealand Monetary Policy Statement. On Wednesday, we have GBP Monetary Policy Report hearings. We have preliminary GDP for USD on Thursday. That is right at New York Open, so there's going to be some volatility. On Friday, we have Core PCE Price Index for the US dollar during New York session as well. So there is high impact news every single day this week, so trade with caution. And if you are going to be trying to trade the news, just execute and manage your risk and take advantage of the moves. All right, let's go. So we're going to look at the Nasdaq 100 here. Starting with the weekly time frame, we can see we closed bearish, large bearish engulfing. We wicked up last week, rejected off this level, and came down. If you've been watching the previous weekly outlooks, you will see that everything that I've been explaining has kind of been coming to fruition. Oh, my bad. Let me fix that. Okay. So on the daily time frame, we can see that this low point broke in the series of lower highs and lower lows, right? And what I've been saying is if this 1400 level breaks, it's going to come down to the 1340, 1350 range. So we had a rejection here from this level, this zone, to try and attempt to push bullish, which is why we got a reaction here. I've been saying that possible good buying opportunities are here, which there were. This moved for 600 pips from this zone. However, it didn't break past and create a lower high. So the market is telling me right now that let me draw this out real quick. Move this resistance up and draw a little level support down here. Based off the higher time frame and lower time frames, they are lining up with each other quite strongly. What we would need to see for next week is perhaps another wick rejection off this level, and then we break 140. 140 breaks, it might have a quick pullback on the lower time frame, and then ultimately just continue to drop. Because if 1400 breaks, there's not another area that it's going to react from until here. So it's going to be a steep decline if 1400 breaks. So keep that in mind if you are a Nasdaq trader or involved in tech stocks at all. My bias for the Nasdaq this week is pretty bearish, just based on the price action, based off of structure. This major low point here, when it first tested on the left side, where I'm clicking, that's a major point of structure, right? If this structural low breaks, then it's going to make a new lower low based off the higher time frame. So one could take possibly look for selling opportunities at 141, 1415. This is a good price range. It might only pull back 50%. Look at this. Might only pull back like to up here, 141, 145, 1415, like I just said, and then go. Yeah, or it could open and just go straight down. Just do something like that. We'll see. Tomorrow is President's Day, so markets have limited hours in the stock market. Some assets are closed entirely and some have just limited hours. So next pair we are looking at is the US dollar against the Canadian dollar. Go to the weekly time frame. So we can see that we made a 3-pin pattern here on this weekly time frame. If you're not familiar what a 3-pin pattern is, basically it's a inverse head and shoulder on a lower time frame. So it would look like this type of pattern on the lower time frame. Right, and that's essentially what is happening here. And I can show you on a lower time frame here. See. Well, I don't know if you see, but I do. But let me show you. So, left. Boom. Essentially this, this, and this. Okay. Inverse head and shoulder. But what that pattern basically is, though, is a reversal pattern, making from a lower lows to higher lows and higher highs. But essentially, what we're seeing here on the US Canadian dollar is that, one, we broke this little structure point here, initiating this bullish move to the upside, right? Because we were making, in this flow, this market flow, we were making lower highs and lower lows up until we respected this level down here, didn't break, creating a type of double bottom pattern on a lower time frame, and then breaking this level of resistance to make a higher high. So for this week coming up, I do see Canadian dollar continuing bullish. I do see the US dollar strengthening for this week coming up. It did go up last week. Finally, it was in this range, right? This nasty little consolidation area, and then finally broke out last week. And this is based off the higher time frame, because we can see on the daily time frame, we broke above this little resistance area and closed strong bullish, and that's exactly what we need to see. You can see where the zone is a higher low. So what's after a higher low? If this is correct bullish market flow, market structure, it would be a higher high. So we would see a test of 12785, which is this green level of resistance I have here, and possibly even beyond up to 1283. So that would be a, if we retest this level of support down here, that would be a 70 pip move, 70 pip to 120 pip move, and if price only comes down to the broken level of resistance, it would be a 50 pip move, 50 to 100 pip move. But overall, this is looking pretty clean, and I have a bullish bias for this pair. Next is USDJPY. These are actually some trades I took last week. Caught this move and caught a little scalp here, but let's remove this. Based on the weekly time frame, we could see a few things. It's not looking that good, but it could go either way based off the lower time frames, and I'll explain that here. See that we made a double top type of looking pattern off the weekly. We respected this zone, this area of supply, here this area of exhaustion, and if we go to a lower time frame, we could see that this clearly looks like a double top, right? Creating a bearish engulfing pattern here, then a lower high, then a lower low. Okay, but here is where I am unclear or unsure of what could happen, because you see how this trend line drawn here based off this 12-hour time frame. Well, it is actually off the 4-hour, but it lines up with the 12-hour as well. You can see, in theory, this should be a break and a retest almost, but here is where I think things can go either way. So let me show this. So this lower high, this flow, right? And this market flow, this bearish market flow. And in theory, the next point should be like this, a lower low point, right? Possibly go to this next demand zone down here. But if this arrow does not break, I mean, this level does not break, this blue line, then price is going to create a higher low or a double bottom pattern. This would be a double bottom if price came down to respect and then came up, right? This situation is what I think will happen, creating a double bottom on this low, on this level of support. But it is contingent on how price responds, because if this level breaks, then obviously it's going to come down and create a lower low down to potentially 145, 14.35 area. But we'll see. It really just depends, because yeah, we're looking bearish on these lower time frames, but it's right in the middle. Price is in the middle. It's not hitting any major levels and needs to push to an area and react first. So for UJ, just wait and see. I think overall bullish for this week, but it also could be bearish if this level breaks. It really depends on this, how price reacts to the 114.85 level. So I would be waiting to see if we get like another wick rejection like we have here on this 12-hour candle. You know, it comes down, taps, creating another lower time frame pattern, and then pushing up. However, if it breaks, you can take sells and catch the impulse leg. So just wait, be patient. Next is Australian dollar, AUDCAD. I think AUDCAD is bearish this week. It's finally lining up with everything. It's been really slow moving, I have to admit that. So I'm kind of staying away from this pair. I actually took this trade last week, and it was a losing trade, but you can see I managed my risk, and the risk reward was good. And this actually might end up playing out, you know, but it didn't go in my favor. The probabilities was not in my favor at that point in time. However, looking at the daily time frame, we can see we got another rejection off of the supply zone up here with the higher time frame, and we got another exhaustion wick and closed bearish. It almost looks like this is a double top pattern. If you're looking at from the lower time frame, we got a strong bearish engulfing, and what we would need to see next week is a pullback, continuation, you know, a wick up to here and something like that, and then come down to these lows, move this down to these lows, and price could react from there and come up before continuing its descent down. It really depends on how price reacts from these levels, because if it creates a bullish pattern, then it would go up. But my bias overall for this is bearish, and I'd be looking to take sells on the Australian dollar, but I personally will be staying away from this pair this week. I'll be looking at USDJPY and the Nasdaq. But yeah, as we can see, it most likely will come down a bit based off all the time frames that I'm looking at. Everything is lining up pretty well, so first move should at least be a bearish move, and then we'll see how the rest of the week plays out. Lastly, Bitcoin is playing exactly to the T as I've been saying for these past 3 weeks. You can see price pulled all the way up to 46,000, 45,900, rejected off this area, and is now pushing bearish, right? A lot of people were saying bullish still, and I just absolutely do not get that. You guys just look at the price action, watch these videos. But basically, everything's lining up bearish, right? There is only a few hours left until this weekly candle closes, but just off a lower time frame, off the 4-hour, you can literally see that the market transitioned. See, this was last week here, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but this is where people were thinking, oh, it is bullish because it broke this on the lower time frame and pushed all the way up to here. But the higher time frame was still bearish. As I've been saying, there's a lot of room, there's a lot of range for price to move before, you know, it reacts from one of these key levels. Yeah, there's 6 hours and 45 minutes left until this candle closes on the weekly time frame. And Yeah, we can see here on the 4th was this breakout, created a double top on the 15th before continuing down. So what could happen is a retracement, possibly a retest of this level or this level, somewhere right here, and then continuation down to 31,000, 30,000 level. And this move could be pretty violent. You know, if 30K breaks, there might be a lot of blood on the streets for crypto in a day, in a single day, or in a week. You know, there could be some significant losses, some significant decreases in valuation. Yeah, this would be a 55% move down to 20K and a 27% decrease in valuation if it hits 30,000, 31,000. So be wary of the situation. It's playing out. But if there's any other page you guys want me to cover in these next weekly outlooks, let me know. I'll cover gold, silver, oil, anything you guys want. Just let me in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.